Welcome back, traders. In this video, we're going to go over a review on ticker CPOP. This is what I have up on my chart. This is a 1-minute chart. I want to go over this in detail because this was a crappy setup this morning, and I want to explain why and what I did wrong this morning. There was some human error there. I want to go over that, and I want to explain what I did wrong, but how I still ended green on CPOP this morning, thanks to just sticking to the strategy. So let's put on our indicators. Hit this little eye here. You'll see all of our indicators are available at BullishBobLive.com. You'll see BullishBob, the BB volume, major red, and vertical trend spotter. That's going to change the color of the candles based on the volume. This is very important for our strategy. We want to see these white candles, yellow candles. If we see red and green, that means it's low volume. Next, we've got, it's going to spot the bullish vertical trends. This is a red flag to our strategy, so something that we want to be careful trading around if trading those setups. And we have the support and resistance, confirmation support and resistance, which is going to be these lines and levels that you see off to the right-hand side here, which is going to be really, really important to our strategy. Next, we've got the dynamic price signals. That's the top right. And let me move this to the front, bring it to the front. That way it stays above the lines and levels. You guys can see that easy. And this indicator does have a keynotes on it as well, but I turned the keynotes off on this chart and I have it on another chart, so I don't need it on both. So CPOP, what was going on this morning? This morning we had a lot of volume on CPOP. It spiked up. This is the 4 a.m. Let me close this so you guys can see a little bit better, and zoom in here. This is going to be our 4 a.m. spike, right? So if I hover over, you can see the time at the bottom. This is a 4 a.m. candle. That's a spike on low volume. We can tell because it's not that yellow or white candle yet. There's the volume, but then we had a bullish vertical trend, as you can see, retrace back down, pivot zone resistance. Okay, low volume, low volume, low volume, until all of a sudden we get over here where we start to see some volume and some life back into this name, these yellow candles again. So that's around 7 a.m. From 7 a.m. on, this one really picked up and continued. And I get in here around, I usually get in around 6:30, take a look at the charts. I don't start trading usually until about 7 a.m. myself. So this is a nice little setup for me. But when I got in here, because it had already filled the gap up to these levels above, which I'll put some labels on these levels to make it easy to see. But once it already filled the gap to these labels above, these price labels, the problem with that is that expecting it to get back up to that level is very high risk and just low probability. So instead, what I like to do is keep to the strategy and look for a close over the level to get in. Now, this was a tough one. When I got in here this morning, our key level was 321, I believe, which must be the top of this. There it is, yes. So when I got in here this morning and when we were looking at this around 7 a.m., well, I put in the key level channel, which we have a channel in our day trading chat in Discord that I always express all of the key levels I'm looking to trade that day well before they ever hit. So when I got in here around 6:30, 7 a.m., I said, okay, CPOP is worth watching for a close over 321. Well, we took this trade over here. We knew it was a bullish vertical trend. We were looking to sell into 240. So this here was a successful trade. But this, I had to reduce my size because we had that bullish vertical trend, which is going to be 5 or more green bars in a row. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green bars in a row. So I was happy to start taking profit into a high of 343. That's the high right here of this candle. So we had the volume, right? We've got volume, yellow, white candles. Okay, we have volume that provides liquidity for me to get in and out of my stock. Great. We have the close over the key level. That's our 321 level right there. If I put the price label on this, you'll see that 321. That's our price label. That's our key level, right? Closed over. Yeah, that was confirmation. But, you know, this is where human error came into play. Looking at our indicator here, it had told me that 321 was the major resistance in 316. So I knew that this area here, this cluster of lines and levels, was the major key resistance level. So I knew that I wanted to get over that and get in. But what I didn't know and what I didn't look because of, getting a little complacent here, and I will be adjusting this, by the way. So anyone who has this indicator, I will be making adjustments to this so that this will not be happening again in the future. But human error, I should have looked left on this chart. If I click this eye again, turn off our indicators, you guys can see these candles that just look like kind of specks and a little mess here. But what we can see looking left is we have price action well above the current price. These are bag holders, right? These are bag holders, something I want to be concerned with. So if I zoom in on this chart, you can see that, yes, we had a lot of lines and levels, but here's our 321 level. So if I zoom in where we were looking to trade this, this was the key level. So we thought this was the key level. Well, unfortunately, it was not because we had so many recent resistance levels there, I would usually put this key level a little bit higher, and that's something that you guys will see on the indicator here shortly. But for now, this 321, I was trading this as if it was confirmation. I took this with a decent size, had a nice little scalp there. I took it again once we closed back over here. I mentioned I would not add into the position because it was pretty inconsistent with its volume throughout the morning. But as it failed back below, then all of a sudden right here, this was a close above and close back under. So if I turn off the indicator, let's see. I'll turn off the volume so it's easier to see. We know that we have volume. This was a close above. I took that trade. Closed back below. I exited my position. This was a close above over here. I did not take this one. Wasn't comfortable taking this at this time. Did take this one, though, and failed. That was an exit. Then we had this one over here. I did not take this first one. Took this one. So really, to be honest with you guys, you know, I was just trading smaller size, lotto type of trades. That's what I was telling my group, that this was only a few hundred shares a piece, because the reason for it is CPOP did not have that consistent type of move at the 321 before. And one of my rules is I'll attempt the same strategy at the same level maybe 3-4 times. After that, I've got to throw in the towel and just admit that it's just not giving me that move that I'm looking for and move on. But I didn't realize that we had so much resistance over here looking left. Just by zooming out just like that, you can see that was the issue. And again, we're going to add something onto this indicator to spot that as well, so that way you don't have to zoom out. But again, it doesn't take 1 second there. Okay, there we go. All right, we know we have some recent bags to contend with. Well, that's going to be adjusted on here, but you can see that as we closed above, we kept failing and chopping. I ended up taking this trade in chat, in voice, in our Discord. I trade live Monday through Friday. I took this trade, and I mentioned that the idea for me was it has to hold this purple line, this purple line here, 321. Has to hold it. That's it. Period. Done. Nothing about it. And I said I'm taking a smaller size. That way, if it goes against me, well, I take a loss. I move on the day. I think at this point I was about flat. So I was willing to take a small red day. That's okay as long as I hold out for the plan, because that's the only way it was going to be lucrative, because I was trading such small size. And the reason I was trading small size is because this was a crappy setup, right? And we can spot crappy setups by zooming out, looking left, and seeing that these recent bags, right? Recent bag holders is going to cause resistance. It's going to cause choppiness. That's what we can expect. So we adjust our size. I adjusted my size here. Once we closed over, we had the volume. There's 214,000. You can see the volume up here. 214,000 shares on that candle. Closed over our 321. Took it. Mentioned. I'm waiting for 356 to start taking profit. Boom. We hit 356 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes later. Now, this is nothing to brag about, guys. This is not something that I want to sit here and be like, oh, man, yeah, I took that trade. You should have taken it. If you didn't take that trade, I don't blame you one bit. I was explaining to my group this morning as well. This is a Thursday that I took this trade. I have my weekly cushion built up. So from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday trading, I have that cushion here on Thursday to be able to take these crappier setups with a lower size or a smaller size. Because it was Thursday. If it was Monday, right, or it was Tuesday, I told my group I would not be taking this trade, right? I'm looking for a clean confirmation. This is not a clean confirmation. We know that there's recent bags looking left. So this is a crappy setup, and I have to treat it as such. And so earlier in the week when I'm trying to build that cushion, this would not be a viable type of trade for me. So I would avoid this trade in the earlier parts of the week. Now, if I have a cushion built up, or I'm trading with money that I'm okay with possibly losing on, right? So a smaller size, then that's where these crappier setups, I can take that type of trade. I did take it. It did hit the 356. Awesome. We did well on this one. For everyone who took it with us there in voice this morning, great. We made some money. Awesome. It continued, and I mentioned if it closed under 350, that was it. We'd exit our position. It didn't close under the 350. It continued to make new highs, and we got all the way up here to about 378 before it then closed. And my idea here is every time it closes over a level, that's my new level for stop. So if I'm in down here around 321, and then all of a sudden it pops up and hits the 356, if we close over, as you can see right there, once it closes back below, that's where I bail. That's it. I locked in profit all out my position, but I hit our target, so I was out probably 90% at this level. So again, guys, one really easy way to spot a crappy setup is look left, right? As simple as that. Look left, see if there's recent bags, which is these other candles here. And if you see recent bags, then that is recent resistance, and we can expect choppy price action, right? So really easy way to spot crappy setups. And if we're trading crappy setups, let's just face the facts, right? Either avoid a crappy setup or adjust your approach, because this is not going to be the the type of trade you want to swing for the fences on, right? This is not going to be that home run type of trade. Now, that being said, it did continue, right? It continued, popped up, chop, 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 fell down. And why are we chopping up again? This is not actually confirmation. So this is outside of confirmation, and therefore this would be considered a bounce watch, and that means we have to be careful because there's recent bags that have been spotted on this chart. So at this point, really, CPOP would have to get all the way up to like $9 before it starts to look attractive to me. Until then, it's going to be chop city, and I'm expecting, that choppiness. And so I either trade smaller size, little lotto type trades, 100 shares, few hundred shares, whatever it may be, or just avoid it altogether. It's sometimes not even worth, trading a few hundred shares because sometimes it's just not going to be lucrative enough if the gap is too small. So that is CPOP. That's our quick review this morning. It is Thursday, 12:39 p.m. at this point. We're around lunchtime. Going to go have some lunch, enjoy time with family. Guys, if you've learned anything in this video here, please give it a thumbs up. Put something in the comments down below, and we'll get together. But thank you, guys. I'll see you in the next one.